In this video, you will retrieve data from tables by using self-joins, outer joins, and cross joins. Consider a scenario where Alice, the HR manager, wants to find the name of each employee's manager. In the employees table, the manager of each employee is identified using the manager ID column and not the manager name. To retrieve the manager names, you join the employees table to itself or perform a self-join. For example, to find the name of Ernst's manager, you need to find Ernst in the employees table by looking up the last name column. Find the manager number for Ernst by looking at the manager ID column. Ernst's manager number is 103. Find the name of the manager with the employee ID 103 by looking up the last name column in the employees table. Arnold's employee number is 103, so Arnold is Ernst's manager. In this process, you look up the table twice. The first time you look up the table to find Ernst in the last name column and the manager ID value of 103. The second time you look up the employee ID column to find 103 and the last name column to find Arnold. The SQL query for the scenario discussed can be written as shown. Observe that the ON clause is used to join columns since they have different names. Table aliases, worker, and manager are used to avoid ambiguity. The query displays the employee name along with their respective manager's name in the output. Suppose Alice is interested to know the job grade level of each employee. Each employee is graded based on their salary, ranging between the values in the lowest sal and highest sal columns of the job grades table. The relationship between the employees table and the job grades table is obtained using an operator other than the equality operator. This is an example of a non-equijoin. The SQL statement can be written as shown. Observe that all employees appear exactly once when this query is executed. No employee is repeated in the list. There are two reasons for this. None of the rows in the job grades table contains grades that overlap. That is, the salary value for an employee can lie only between the low salary and high salary values of one of the rows in the job grades table. All of the employees' salaries lie within the limits provided by the job grades table. That is, no employee earns less than the lowest value contained in the lowest sal column or more than the highest value contained in the highest sal column. Observe the example on the screen. A simple equijoin of employees and departments tables on the department ID column is used to return the employee and department details. The result set does not contain the following. Department ID 190 because there are no employees with that department ID recorded in the employees table. The employee with the last name of Grant because this employee has not been assigned a department ID. To return the department record that does not have any employees or employees that do not have an assigned department, you can use an outer join. There are three types of outer joins: left outer, right outer, and full outer. Let's learn about each of them with examples. To display all the employees and their department information, whether or not an employee belongs to a department, you can write the SQL statement as shown. Basically, a left outer join will return all the rows that satisfy the given condition and also returns the unmatched rows in the left table. That is, the table mentioned first in the SQL statement. Similarly, to retrieve all the rows in the departments table, which is the table at the right, even if there is no match in the employees table, you can use the right outer join clause as shown. Suppose from the two tables, you want to retrieve all the rows that match based on the given condition as well as the rows that do not match, you can use the full outer join as shown. This query retrieves all rows in the employees table even if there is no match in the departments table. It also retrieves all the rows in the departments table even if there is no match in the employees table. What happens if a join condition is omitted? A Cartesian product is generated. For example, to create a Cartesian product of employees and departments tables, use the cross-join clause as shown. Because no join condition was specified, all rows from the employees table, that is 20 rows, are joined with all rows in the departments table, that is 8 rows, thereby generating 160 rows in the output. In this video, you learn to retrieve data from the tables using self-joins, outer joins, and cross-joins. In the next video, we will discuss subqueries. Thank you for watching.